Meet me. It can't be helped. This is going to hurt. Welcome back, boys. Today we're going to do another Squirrely hero review, and we're going to be talking about Cerise. And she just very recently got buffed, and now she's an absolutely redonkulous hero. Quite honestly, in the past, she was already considered a good hero, and top players used her regularly. So with the buffs, she's going to be absolutely insane. So as always, we'll talk about skills, builds, PvP showcase, and then we'll summarize. Let's get started. Alright, so her skills, and we're talking about her post-buff. So her S1 used to be pretty basic. At Max Mola, it gives her a 15% combat readiness push, which makes her turn cycle very fast. But now with the buffs, she also triggers a dual attack from a random ally when Froststorm is on cooldown, which will be pretty much all the time because you're going to use this skill on cooldown in most situations. So it doesn't work against dummies, obviously, because there's no second person, but it basically turns her S1 into a Lilius S1, which is absolutely crazy if you're running her with triple DPS, and I'll show you that later in the showcase. Her S2 is also really good. It gives a one-turn stun at 100% chance, assuming it doesn't get resisted, and now it also implies unbuffable, which is crazy. And it increases her combat readiness by 50%, making her turn cycle even faster. Notice both her S1 and S2 gives her CR push, and she's also a very fast hero to begin with. Important to note that in a clutch situation, you can soul burn her S2, making it entirely unresistible. It's only a 3-turn cooldown with Molas. Now her S3, her opening move is pretty crazy. Let's just go ahead and watch the animation. It's a pseudo strip. It reduces the duration of all buffs on the enemies by 1 turn. So things like immunity, it's a strip. FCC barrier, it won't remove because that's a 2-turn buff. It also has a 100% chance to apply decreased speed and restrict. Restrict is a rare debuff, but it basically means the target cannot get increased combat readiness. So things like general purges, stuff like that, she'll shut them down because they can't CR push when they have restrict up. It also now, with the buff, attacks using an advantageous element. So she's basically an ML5 because in the past against like Earth units, she would miss. Now she can't even miss unless they have like MLDB or something, which is crazy. So it's always going to land and apply these two very annoying debuffs. On top of that, it gives her invincibility for 1 turn. So even though she can't like S3, S2 right away, she's entirely immune to damage unless she's stripped, giving her a good deal of survivability as well. So those are her skills. Let's move on to her builds. So how do you build Cerise? It's pretty straightforward. You just build her with speed and effectiveness. My effectiveness is way too low, and the reason for that is I basically just stole my ACID's gear and gave her an effectiveness ring. But remember, she has really high base speed, so plus 170, so here it's saying her base speed is 122. She is a very fast hero and perfectly viable as a first initiator. Like stuff like Bassar, some Bassars are really fast because of godly speed gear, but he's only 108 base speed, so against top players, you're going to get outsped every time if they bring like an Acid or a Cerise. But Cerise has very high base speed, very fast hero, one of the fastest in the game. Your targets are going to be, at the high end, you're probably going to want 300 speed, like if you're pushing Legend or something. In the beginning, 280 is probably fine. Effectiveness, you're probably going to want minimum 100, but ideally more like 150, 160, so that you can reliably hit Ruels. You may even want to push higher than that, like 180, 190, because a lot of Ruels do run 200-ish effectiveness. You're still going to get resisted by top tier Amomos and stuff, but it is what it is. Just ban it out if you see that. Her other stats don't really matter that much. You might want to get her to 100% crit if you regularly use her with something like CDOM. Just put her on a crit main amulet, and it's really not that hard to accomplish, so you might want crit if you run her with CDOM a lot. And that's pretty much it. Speed, effectiveness, you could get some damage stats if you want, but it doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's about it. In terms of artifacts, I think Guiding Light is going to be best in slot now with the buff. It gives her a starting stealth, but, you know, you can potentially pass on this because, again, you're going to build her really fast, so she should get the first turn anyway, so maybe it's not too valuable. It does give her protection against acids, though, so that's going to be pretty valuable. In terms of budget artifacts, other things you can use are probably things like Sachet Ithanes. A real budget option will be something like Cursed Compass to give her high effectiveness on that first turn so that she could land those debuffs if you have her with low effectiveness. You can also put her on the limited 5-star artifact that applies defense break. I've seen that a few times. So I think those are your main options, but basically change your artifacts based on your playstyle and what you plan to pair her with. I think Guiding Light, the Defense Break artifact, and Cursed Compass are all viable options, but feel free to change it. So with that, let's move on to the PvP showcase. Alright, so we're going to try Cerise against this former rank 1 player. You can see this guy in the Hall of Fame. I just lost twice in a row because the Restrict didn't land on Flitica both times. Let's pray it lands this time, because if it doesn't, we auto-lose. Come on, Cerise. Put that Restrict on him. There we go. This time we get the Restrict. So I think we'll be okay. And then what we do is push up the team. Let's wipe out the Vildred. We'll wipe out Vildred here. Dead. Now we boost up ML Lulu. And we get rid of this Arbiter Vildred. Boom. So the Restrict there was huge. Finally, it didn't get resisted. I think what we'll do here is, we'll just stun. Resisted. What is this, like an effect resistance? Athletica? It's okay, though. We'll just wipe her out instead. And remember, now Cerise, her S1 triggers dual attacks. Boom, so this match is over. And, yeah, this is a former rank 1 player. And Cerise with the new buffs is just going to be absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and try another one now. Alright, let's try another one. This time I don't think I need a speed imprint. Yeah, I outsped this Ruzid. Let's go ahead and strip him. Nice, we land Restrict on all of them, so the Ruzid cannot push them. RNL. Let's try and stun them now. Boom. Okay. Maybe we just try and kill the maid Chloe, perhaps? Yeah, let's do that. The maid Chloe does go down. Let's boost up with ML Lulu, and we will extinct this Arbiter Vildred. Cerise is coming back up already. Cerise is so fast. Her turn cycling is absolutely ridiculous because her S1 gives her combat readiness, not even Molud, and her S2 also gives her combat readiness. So let's try and pop this Kayron. Brought the wrong person. But the immortality still ran out because of burns. We'll just finish this Ruzid now. He has evasion buff. But Kayron goes down. This is why Cerise is so good. Like, the strips and the openers, just absolutely insane. And now with the guaranteed dual attacks, the damage output that she gives your team, especially if you bring 3 DPS, is just absolutely crazy. So, you know what? These are fast. Let's try yet another one. Alright, let's try a tankier defense now. They have ML, Crow. Oh, that Arbiter's on MLDB, though, so that's potentially going to be risky if my ML Lulu misses, but hey, 80%. Oh, there's that first resist already. Okay, so we did get all the immunities off, so let's try and stun. Boom. That one hits. Do I need to burn anything yet? I don't think so. But, what should we kill first? Maybe just a Crow. Okay. Now this is the moment of truth. We must extinct this Arbiter. Come on, ML Lulu, 80%. You got this. We got him. So I think this match is a wrap. We can just go ahead. I think we'll turn cut them, so I'll just finish off this Crow. The Crow does go down. This guaranteed dual attack now is just absolutely redonkulous, I think. This is going to push them, though. Oh, never mind. They have Restrict. What a good pairing. And, yeah, that's basically Cerise in a nutshell. She's a crazy, crazy control hero. And now with the buffs to her, making her S3 element neutral, making her basically an ML unit, the fact that her S1 triggers dual attacks for maximum damage potential, like, if you have 3 DPSs, no matter who she brings, it's going to be a lot of extra damage, right? Like, she's just an absolutely redonkulous hero. So I think she should die here. So let's go on and summarize this extremely powerful hero. Alright, so let's summarize. Cerise, is she good? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, she's good. She's an absolute monster. I mean, everyone thought she was good before the buff. A lot of people were genuinely confused she got buffed at all. So after the buffs, she's an absolute juggernaut, especially in PvP, although I wouldn't even be surprised if she's good in some PvE content now. So let's just go straight into the ratings. Arena offense, I'm going to give her a B+. Now, you guys might think that's weird because I've been raving about how good she is and why is her rating so low. I'm only giving her a B+ because I can't think of many situations where I would really need to bring Cerise. If they have a speed cleave defense, maybe I could bring Cerise just to put Restrict on them, but again, on offense, I generally don't like things that can get 15%ed, and if you get 15%ed with the Restrict, you might end up losing anyway, and there's no way to burn this to ignore effect resist. Also, because she has no built-in CR push, if you're going to cleave with her, you better bring another CR pusher. The most likely culprit is probably CDOM. You're going to have to build Cerise with 100% crit if you're going to do that, or at least like 85% crit. But yeah, you're going to have to bring CDOM or a secondary pusher to push your cleavers up. Which is the main problem, because in any team that I would want to Cerise, I feel like Flitica can just do the job better anyway, unless you really need to get rid of that immunity, because a team with FCC and immunity, Flitica can't strip it. Other than that one case, I mean, just use Flitica or use A-Lot. So really, I don't think, it's not so much that she's bad in arena offense, she isn't. She's very good in arena offense, but I would think that something like a Flitica or A-Lot's cleave is generally just more consistent, less prone to RNG, and generally safer. So if those guys are S's, it feels weird to give Cerise an S as well, because I think the two of them are definitely better. Arena defense, I'm also going to have to give her a B+. Now with the buffs, I've been seeing a lot of Cerises on arena defense. I think she has some big problems there, though, because she's definitely scary, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, she is super hard countered by things like Fast Rays, Fast Liliuses, or DJ Bazaar. Remember, she can't use Abyssal or anything, and the S3, it's going to strip, but it's not going to disable anyone. So during the free unequipped, I just built a 270 DJ Bazaar, and it was laughable how easy Cerise teams were, because basically all I did was just take turn right after and cleanse everything off and get immunity, or use something like Lilius into an ML Crow. So it's fairly easy to deal with. The only thing I could think of using Cerise on defense for is going to require you to bring CDOM and use some kind of Cerise speed cleave defense. That might be somewhat scary, so you might want to try that. But again, those kind of defenses, usually if you could always bring an offense that's tanky enough to survive it and just claw through them one by one. So yeah, it'll probably work fine against the people who don't have those options like DJ Bazaar, but a lot of people have Lilius, so I'm not sure that Cerise defenses are too great in arena. Guild Wars offense, I'm going to give her an A there. I think she works just fine against the proper defenses. Again, not a hero you're going to have to bring into every single situation, but as long as it's the right team, she works just fine. I did experiment with her during the preseason. Definitely very solid, especially with the buffs to the S1. Again, the only crappy part is sometimes you just get like 15%ed by everyone, which gets kind of annoying, but that's what every control hero without soul burns is affected by. Guild Wars defense, I'm going to give her an A. She kind of has the same problem as Arena defense, but it's a little less pronounced in Guild Wars because it's a 3v3 format, and what people can do is something like Cerise into double DPS, and if they choose to bring something like a DJ Bazaar or something, then they get rid of 1/3 of the offensive potential that they can bring. So I think in Guild Wars defense, she's better than she is at Arena defense, where you can just pick one person and you have 3 other things to bring. If you bring something to hard counter Cerise, that's 2 people you leave behind. The other thing that's a problem for in Guild Wars defense though is something like Champ Z. So if you're going to run Cerise, you better run her with something that could deal with Champ Z. Otherwise, they're just going to troll you and just keep countering with Champ Z and mowing you down. So you need something with heavy hitters like Arbiter or Rylet, something like that. RTA, she's an easy S. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Cerise in RTA, especially with some of the nerfs or rather buffs to damage teams with the way that Battle Frenzy is changing and stuff. It's going to kind of promote a faster paced style of RTA play, and she's perfect for that. Like, you guys, if you haven't versed Cerise a lot, don't underestimate how fast she turn cycles, because she's already one of the fastest heroes in the game at 122. On top of that, 50% CR push and a 15% CR push, and she applies decreased speed to you, is not uncommon to have her take 3 turns before you get a single one, depending on what your speeds are. So absolute monster in RTA, gonna be able to lock you down. I've had my ML Ken be soloed by a Cerise before, which was really depressing because the Cerise did 0 damage, but literally perma-stunned him from 100 to 0, and he couldn't get any counters off. It was very embarrassing, but that's the kind of thing you could expect to see from very fast Cerises. So anyways, that's my review of Cerise. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. She is a limited hero, so hopefully you guys got her in the past, but if you didn't, I'm sure she'll be back in the rotation within the next 6 months. So anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out, boys.